Well, I gotta say, it's been a month and it's time to do another WinUtil update. It's every month, I never miss it. I at least check all my issues, pull requests, just make sure we have everything in order for the WinUtil um, section. So I'm gonna actually pull this over into here and let's just push this. Do we have? Yeah, we'll push this into our little fancy zones. We're in Windows today. The old Windows. We have some fun stuff too to look at in this Windows install. I've actually been using Windows a little more lately. Let's see. Well, let's see if I'm lying or not. I actually track all my stuff in coding. Let's see. What have I been doing the last 7 days? NeoVim. Okay, so Windows 7% of the time. Well, anyways, we're gonna be using it more today. Afternoon. How you doing, Ashlyn? Dragon Skies. Maroon Hat Hacker. Ah, what a lovely day. It is beautiful here in Dallas, Texas. A perfect 70, or 60. I think it's actually 69 degrees outside. No joke, no joke. Nice. So let's go into WinUtil. Let's see what we have. Also, I have some fun articles today. I've been pulling in more RSS feeds, and there's some really good ones out there. And Bill Gates makes an RSS feed that I got a hold of, and I was like, oh, this is so gold, because it tells us the mind behind Windows and kind of what his thought process is. And make no mistake about it, Bill Gates still has a lot of influence in Microsoft's thinking. So I love to see that and kind of getting a direct interaction with him through his newsletter is kind of key. So I found an article about him and AI we'll go into here in a bit. And just some other stuff that I see is just like, oh my gosh. Drummer, thanks for the tier 1, man. Ah, man, we need to do another meetup again. I've been itching for some Buffalo Wild Wings. Yeah, I mean, well, you know, that's the funny thing, brother, about me using Linux and Windows. Mac OS and BSD, I really should give BSD a more fair shake. Mac OS though, I don't know, man. It's just something about Mac. I don't know what it is with Mac, but it just never really gets me. Like, you know, it just doesn't get me. I don't know why. It's something about Mac that just bothers me to no end, that I just absolutely it's not like, let me be clear here. The update cycle in Mac is actually pretty good. It's very reliable. Probably the most reliable system for a normal user. So don't take this the wrong way, Mac users. I mean, I know the last time I talked bad about Mac, I just heard about it all over the place. So let me specify. I'm just saying it looks like, you know, I'm on a Fisher-Price toy, and I don't know why they can't get the Windows right. Like, window management should be a lot better on a Mac, and like you have to add a bunch of add-ons. I don't know. It just feels like a really crappy window manager. I think if it did window management better, it would not be so bad. That and Finder. The File Explorer in Mac is just atrocious. Finder is just complete garbage. But other than those two things, it's actually pretty good. It's pretty good. Oh yeah, the new Atlas OS. Now, the last review I did of Atlas, they finally implemented almost every single fix I told them to do. So totally need to review it again. Apple will allow sideloading of iOS soon, so be ready for Android on the iPhone. Ooh, that'll be interesting. Yeah, I need to revisit my Android. I don't know, man. It's something about the way sorry, my microphone's just been bugging the hell out of me. Something about the way mobile phones worked, and after I did like my dumb phone series on the channel, I don't know, I hate using my cell phone now. Like, I leave my cell phone behind when I go to a whole bunch of different places now. I don't even carry my cell phone all the time. And that is just weird in today's world. I would make another video, but nobody wants to, I could just see the comments right now and just be like, okay, boomer. But I'm a lot happier without carrying it everywhere. But yeah, I do need to revisit it a bit more, and also revisit the Android debloat project, because I think the actual main project itself hasn't been updated, but there's forks that have been. So probably in the next month we'll look at that as well. Yeah, the project's dead. No one's working on it anymore. Well, I think some people have taken it up. Oh, you're talking about Project Sandcastle. Never mind. Good luck doing that here. You would not be able to pay for anything, unable to see a menu at a restaurant, etc. Oh, glove. That's a good point. That's a good point. When I had the dumb phone, I remember I went to pick up something at like Buffalo Wild Wings, and they wouldn't give me my order. And I was like, listen, I got my card, and here's my driver's license. Here's my phone, if you guys don't think of it. And this kid just looked at me like I had 3 heads when I pulled out like the punked phone. It looks like a calculator. I mean, the phone was not terrible. I mean, it's a terrible phone and overpriced for what it is, but it really, I appreciate it. I don't regret spending my money on it just because it freed me. It freed my mind. But yeah, QR menus are awful, and I don't eat out very much these days. I mean, obviously, wife and kids, hell, anybody that has wife and kids, you know right away. You go out eating out, it's like $100 no matter where you go, and it's just like, oh god, all right, well let's eat something at home. And it's even worse for me because my kids are all grown. We can't even order from the kids menu. Now, Atlas OS works on Windows 11 now. Yeah, I think we'll revisit that. I've been telling the devs, I've been actually in contact with them on Twitter and been telling the devs I'll revisit it, and I will, for sure. The new Atlas update will definitely pique my interest. Yeah, actually, I was having a conversation today, and people are going to leave chat after I say this, but my favorite smartphone is probably the Windows Phone. It's still to this day one of my favorite smartphones. I will die on that hill. I don't know what it is about it, but it was just really good. It was a really good phone. I enjoyed it. And honestly, it wasn't even the later models, like the Nokia Windows phones. I didn't like that much. I had a Samsung Focus, and I think, do I still have this article? I probably got rid of it. Samsung. No, I don't have it on here. I had a Samsung Focus, how to tether it, on my website, christitus.com, for a long time. And I actually 86'd it finally. So never mind. There's a Microsoft launcher on Android. I have no interest in launching Microsoft apps on an Android environment. It's like the worst of both worlds. I have to give over my fears with Arch. It always feels like there's a huge hurdle to start. Yeah, I'd say that's true about Arch. But once you get it, Arch has some of the most rabid fans in the world. And it's a definite love for many people. And I always love Arch for this and that. I still love Debian probably a little more than Arch. But they're both like my children, so it's hard to pick a favorite between the two. It just depends on the day and what that kid's doing. But I do love both Debian and Arch. You can't go wrong with either one, really. I just do. Those are my two favorite distros, and I will never say not to use either one. I use Arch and Bedrock. Oh man, I haven't looked at Bedrock, the Bedrock project, in a long time. And Red Hat does a lot of things right. I always like to crap on Red Hat, especially after a lot of the shenanigans these past year. But the Fedora community in Red Hat has done a very good job with Fedora. And probably my favorite Fedora spin to date is Nubara, run by Glorious Eggroll. Glorious Eggroll with Nubara, fantastic. Like, he's a very gifted dev, and he's made like, Glorious Eggroll or Proton GE, and It's probably the best distro for gaming out of the box. It just is. It's so good. Hi, sorry for my ignorance, but is Arch its own thing, or is it based on... No, Arch is its own thing. It's its own kernel, everything. So you have Arch, you have Debian, and there's a whole bunch of distros that fall underneath those two. And then you kind of have Fedora over here in the middle, which is somewhere between the two. And it's not a rolling distro, but it's a little more bleeding edge than Debian, but not quite as bleeding edge as Arch. And it's run by Red Hat. And it's actually upstream from Red Hat Enterprise Linux and CentOS Stream for the 5 people that use that. I run a Gigabyte 990FX AM3, and when any distro besides Nabarro, I have to go into BIOS and get my Ethernet adapter working to turn off something that disables my USB ports, and I can't use any distro besides Nabarro. Raj, I think probably what you need to do there is you're probably missing like a Linux-firmware package that's not standard on a lot of things, and you probably just need to look at what Nabarro's doing to fix that. I've seen that with like my 10 gig Ethernet card that I have in this system back here. Beginner guide tutorial for building AOSP. Any recommendations? I do not. I've never been big on the custom ROMs. It's a kind of a strange community, and with all the locked bootloaders in the Android ecosystem, a lot of times I just like enabling ADB and just stripping stuff out without rooting. So I'm not too much in that realm of things anymore. I used to be, but I don't do much with my phone. We got 6 pull requests to go through. I still need to look at this. Let's start looking through pull requests. Let's start from the oldest. Microwin and fixes I gotta look at again. What do we got here? We are adding... What is Duplicati? Anybody heard of that? Duplicati. Online backups from scratch. Really? Huh. That's an interesting one. I'm always looking for a good open source backup solution. Is this open source? Yeah. Source code licensed under LGPL. Built for online. Wow. That's kind of cool. Duplicati 2.0. Screenshots. Has anybody ever used this? Huh. Duplicati. Well, that just screams video. Okay. Neat. Okay. I'm totally okay with opening up with a open source program I've never heard of. OpenVPN Connect. I don't know on OpenVPN Connect. I want to say the community edition. I don't think that's Connect though. Let's look at what options we have. So we have OpenVPN, and then we have OpenVPN Connect. Now, I don't know if this is just me being old school, but I've always just used OpenVPN instead of OpenVPN Connect. Chat, which one do you like on OpenVPN? I remember OpenVPN Connect was too, like, new age for me or something. Or maybe I was just being an old man yells at cloud moment when I just like the old school community 2.6 OpenVPN. These days, I usually set up WireGuard, so it's been a minute. I'm okay with that, I guess. Let's see. Paint.net, sure. Oracle VirtualBox. I thought that was already in there. Install virtual. Okay. Huh. All right. And then we add in Paint, Connect, and Oracle. I like it. That is a solid commit. I approve. Paint.net. Big shout out to Thrice. All right. That looks good. He's putting it to test. Why do we have conflicts here? I gotcha. It doesn't really matter. We could just accept this and mark it as resolved. This is gonna get overwritten anyways. All right, let's bring this back down to a manageable size. Invent rice, this looks good. Oh, I already commented back and told him the changes to make. Okay, perfect. So this looks great. I don't see any commits. Let's squash and merge that. Perfect. Next pull request. New section, customize preferences inside tweak session. Pad, all right, let's see. Oh man, this looks good. We're adding the toggles. I like that. I've been meaning to do this for a long time, and I think Pad might have beat me to it. Let's look at how he made the changes. Tweaks num, tweaks power. He's erasing hide file extension. Laptop number tweaks, yes. Actually, I wonder, oh, he's removing them from the tweaks section and then putting them in the actual toggles here. Yeah. That makes much more sense. And for the theming, I wonder why he changed that variable. Not that I care. Then we're adding invoke numlock, invoke show extension. That's all good. You know, I remember originally when somebody broke out my main XML when I was committing everything through just WinUtil.xml. I hated how modular this is, but looking at it now, almost a year later after that change, wow, what a great change. Because even if I take like a bigger commit like this and something goes wrong, well, it's just added files that I can just get rid of. And all these added files do is just add extra functions. And those functions are very easy to track down and get rid of. So it makes maintenance so much better. I think all that looks good. I kind of like all that changes. Obviously, the XMLs looks completely different. I do like all those though. Let's approve. And I think that's pretty good. And this is always, you know, some people are like, why don't you use a better library for the display? This is the default PowerShell library. We're writing this entire GUI on the fly. That's why it looks the way it looks. Meaning it's not an actual program that downloads or uses anything other than the stock libraries. It's building the UI in a script when you run this program. It's not actually installing anything. Yesterday I saw your video about the Linux challenge on LTT. In that video, you are showing some network shares mounted via systemd. Not absolutely sure about that. Did you make a video about this method of mounting network shares? I wasn't able to find one explicitly talking about the topic. I talked a little bit about doing network mounted shares through systemd, and I actually worked on it, and honestly, I'd reboot and show you right now. But I'm using a non-systemd Linux distro right now. We did a goof last week on a live stream, and I was like, let's not use systemd anymore. So obviously we're using fstab. And since then, I have not really done that method because it was not as reliable as fstab with NFS shares that I was using. For SMB shares, I still like that method better because you could specify when to mount the drives in systemd. So it just depends on how you want to do it. But yes, creating a systemd service, I need to revisit, and probably I'll put it on my videos to make. Creating systemd network shares, share services. I'll put it on there. We'll toss it into our videos to make. Oh geez, I need to probably go through some of these. Anyways, it's starting to get long again. But no, I did not show it on any past video that I can remember. Other than I think I was messing around with it, and a lot of times these days with NFS, I would just like 4 lines fstab, be done with it. But I do like that method, especially for SMB. The only goof is not installing point. Pluto's going well, man. Things are going well. Is there a way to only keep the window manager in Windows? No, you're pretty much pigeonholed into doing what Windows wants you to do. I don't know of another way to do it. I did try to do a couple different things, specifically with like Windows Server Core, or actually, I don't think it's called Windows Server Core anymore. What's that called? Windows Server. What is it? I don't know. Windows Server Nano. Shoot, I don't. Microsoft keeps changing the name on me. Anyways, the Windows Server that doesn't install a GUI. I thought, hey, I'll build out like a Steam front end on it and a whole bunch of other stuff. Too long didn't watch of that as I spent like a week messing around just to tell you. There's a lot of dependencies that many games need, like .NET and Explorer and many other things that aren't included in that version of Windows that you have to install the full desktop. There's no getting around it. We'll resolve the conflicts. It's probably just another versioning thing. I wonder if... Can I just... Oh, man. Wish I could just ignore these. There's probably a better way to do this. I just don't know it. They're going to get overwritten by the compile when it happens anyways. How do you manage your WireGuard servers? I have several ones, and I've used Rhapsody, and I got to install it on every server, and it's not all free. Thank you for your advice. All my WireGuard stuff is typically... There's two easy ways to do this, Trance. The easiest is probably just Ubiquity. Some of my SMBs, we're not big businesses, so I don't do big business anymore. And Ubiquity's like the lazy man way of just setting up WireGuard, and it's just a tick box. Boom, click it open, download the WireGuard config, and say, here you go, user. So that's probably the easiest way to manage it, is just use Ubiquity. If I was going to do a little bit bigger setup, probably like a centralized server and a Docker container that does the WireGuard for me. But I do like the aspect of just having it all on the gateway, so it's not coming down into your network. It's just hitting that gateway, authenticating, and then going about it that way. I like that. But yeah, there's better ways to do it as well. Probably pfSense has a really good client too. Setting it up on the gateway. I know for bigger implementations, both these are terrible advice, though. Please don't mention pfSense. Oh man, I like pfSense. I don't like OpenSense that much. pfSense is just better. Zero Glove's like, damn it, Chris, damn it, Titus, don't do it, don't do this to me. Oh, DDRT. I remember when DDRT was any good. Yeah, it sucks now. But I remember using custom firmwares on like a DWRT 54G. Those were fun. I know. I love pfSense. I just do. It's always worked for me. It's just very solid. And Netgate, the company behind it, makes some fantastic network products that ship out with it. And I've had just unbelievably good support from them. And I've done some bigger implementations with pfSense. And I've even blown up a couple of those installations. And dude, the rollback in pfSense is beautiful. I remember one time connecting to a console cable, and it was just lovely. I immediately connected to console. I couldn't boot into it. It wouldn't access or launch the UI. I think I screwed up a what was it? I think I was doing tagging on the switch on there, and I was trying to change something, and I screwed it all up and wiped out the WAN LAN configuration, and then I couldn't get back in the box, so I had to console into it. And it was so easy just to go console, switch back to a prior save or prior snapshot, and then I just pushed a number, and then it reverted all of my changes and put it right back to before those changes were made. And it was all out of the box from Netgate pfSense. So you can call me a shill if you want. They've never paid me any money. I've only given them thousands of dollars in some business contracts, and I'm sorry, but they got really good support, and their hardware, I can tell you, is really good. It's solid. So yeah, I know PFSense. I think their licensing's gotten a little more dicey in recent years. I can't remember, or was I? Am I thinking of somebody that was real big in the home lab scene screwed over some of the home labbers? But I can't remember who it was. Maybe it wasn't PFSense. But they've always treated me well. So I don't have anything bad to say about them. Did I? Oh yeah, let's squash and merge. All right, we're moving on. That's a pretty cool change. I can't wait to see that in action. That's actually a pretty big change. Before we do any more changes, I kind of want to launch that. Let's go admin. And what we're going to do here is go into our test and we go WinUtil. Let's go to the raw file. And so we got to invoke dark mode. Okay. I feel like this would be pretty solid. We'll invoke our web request, go IEX. Let's see these changes. That's pretty cool. Oh, I like it. Bing search, verbose logon messages. Okay. Okay. Just trying out some of these tweaks. Pad did a great job with that PR. Solid PR. All right. You will love this. Cando menu. What's Cando menu? A cross-platform pie menu. Oh, that's cool. It's a neat little menu. Yeah, the enable looks a little off, needs more work. I totally agree, Dark Sky, but it's like 90% there. We can get it off, get it over there. The circle looks a little bit janky, but whatever. Yeah, full throttle. I was feeling like a teenager today, so I picked it up at Quick Trip. Quick question: are you on Windows right now? Do you use Chocolatey Package Manager? Yeah, I love Chocolatey, Prof. Professor Xavier. It is the best. I love Chocolatey. Still do. And honestly, I use it in my script too. A lot of people think I'm only WinGit, but I actually use Chocolatey. I actually use Chocolatey to install WinGit sometimes. The latest update from Windows broke WinGit out of the box. It ships with a broken WinGit. So if you have a brand new install on 23H2, you go WinGit search or WinGit install anything, it won't work. But if you install Chocolatey, you can go Coco install WinGit, it'll update it and it'll work then. Or you could launch Microsoft Store, update WinGit through the Microsoft Store, but also fix it. Why does Microsoft make my life difficult? I don't know. It does it to all of us. All right, let's move on to the next one. Add Thunderbird. Man, this is bad. I don't want to tell people this, but I don't like Thunderbird. I think it kind of sucks for an email client. I know. That's terrible. Where's he adding it? Yeah, it's from Mozilla. I don't really care about that. I mean, honestly, I prefer people use Firefox over Chrome. But yeah, that's fine. He did it the proper way. He added it in applications in the XAML file. It's not adding a bunch of crap with it. We'll squash and merge it. I guess we're adding Thunderbird. Wait, where's he adding it though? Telegram team. Adding it under communications. Yeah, that's fine, I guess. What's your favorite email client? Who says I use one? Probably Outlook, yeah. If I had to pick one, it would probably be Outlook. I'm old, man. You can just blame it on that. Outlook is still pretty good. Yeah, I've seen the new Outlook, and I think it sucks, but again, I don't like to use Outlook when I have to. Oh, yeah, I will. HGH. Return to Moria. I got 2 games I've been playing lately, and that is Final Fantasy 14 online. I know. You don't have to say it. I know. And Age of Empires 4 just launched a new expansion. Super pumped about it. RTS. Age of Empires 4. It just doesn't get any better than that. I feel ashamed to tell everybody those are my game choices, but they are. And I love both of them to death. Oh. Free Proton Mail doesn't support external client apps. Well, yeah. Proton Mail's not awful. Yeah, I think we're going to squash and merge this guy. Let's move on. Not much of a change there. We're just adding Thunderbird. I'm fine with it. Add Session Manager to Applications list. What is that? Anybody ever use Session Manager? Oxen Session. What do we got? Session is a cross-platform, end-to-end encrypted instant messaging application. Do we not have enough of those already? I mean, shit, Signal I thought had the market cornered. Anybody ever heard of this? Oxen Session. Is it open source? Yep. GPL3. Damn it. I was hoping it was closed source and then I don't have to add it. Let's see. Send messages. Encrypted. Not metadata. Even has a GitHub link. Fine, just pull at my heartstrings for the 5 people that are going to use this damn thing. Approved. I was looking for a way out of that one. There was none. It's got GPL3. It's open source. It's on GitHub. And it just ticks all the boxes for something I would love. So, Session, you're getting added to alongside the Signal users. For the people that want to try Session, hey, there we go. Telegram is good. Out! Don't you speak of that evil devil Telegram. No, Telegram's awful. We don't speak of Telegram in this thing. Other than the fact they got millions of users, and I have it on my thing just because there's millions of users. What's up with Telegram? There's just so many scams on Telegram. I hate it. You know, that's true. In the end, it is my project. I get to choose what makes it in. I think the big thing, Ashlyn, that's hard for me, for me personally, where I just say, no, I'm not adding that, is when I run into a project that's not open source. It's obviously just like a piece of a bigger project where the shareware it gives you tries to tie you in. Like, that piece of shareware is like 30% of a bigger software bundle that it's obviously trying to upsell you to. Those are almost always denied in a PR. And honestly, they really don't make it on Winget that much just because they're not that open source. They're not open source at all, I should say. So that's kind of where I'm at. Oh, is that the test branch? Oh, shoot. Damn it. Oh. That should have been the test branch. Oh, man. Do we have to do a refactor now? Yeah, whatever. We'll figure that out down the road. Yes, it should have been. How many? Oh, what a noob mistake. Gah. Yeah, Norton's awful. Whoops. Nah, we'll just roll with it, guys. Let's just continue with this, and we're going to do a massive PR. At the end, what's the worst that could happen? What happened? Dark mode for the screenshot looks way cooler and more appealing than the light mode one. For this reason, I updated the README with a new screenshot that better represents the utility. Cool. Alright. Sure. That looks better. Squash and merge. Yeah, it wouldn't be a Titus stream without me breaking at least something. Happens every stream. All right, let's do this. Still got to figure out what to do with this micro win. I like it, but I was just like, I can't really do anything with it. All right, let's see. He watched a stream with this in, and I think you misunderstood the purpose of MicroWin. I'm sorry if you did it. The tool allows you to create a tiny 11 like ISO, very lightweight Windows version without all the problems that Tiny 11 has. You can modify any Windows ISO, and you're not tied to a particular version of Windows ISO. You can also use it to create Windows 10 version, etc. All right, I like it. So it almost is like a night-night. Or not a night-night, Inti-Light. Doesn't suffer from the OCDIM jib problems, and dynamically download it from the Cocoa store. Okay. It basically replaces Inti-Light, MSMG, Tiny 11, 10, and 10. That's kind of cool. See, like when I saw it, I was like, that's really neat. The problem is he threw too many commits at me. Let's see what we have. What the files change? I think it was... All right, he's working with the... Man, this is just such a huge PR. I hate huge PRs. But I like the addition. Wouldn't it be like a good addition to add an automatic Windows activation script? I might get in a little bit of trouble for that one, Plutos. Not that we couldn't do it. Oh, no, I haven't made that change yet, gaming, for the light gray mode. All right, let's keep moving here. The install here. See, I don't agree with this change. This portion doesn't work anymore. This was one of my old ones where I was trying to do like through the Microsoft Store. This would inevitably break. I love just doing the Cocoa install. I'm gonna request changes. The big thing is update from branch. There's several fixes we've done. Several PRs and commits since this was pushed. Can you pull the changes and resend the PR on the new test branch for November? I want to see this again, but I don't want to accept it in this big PR. I love this commit. Like I said, I looked at it and I was like, man, that's a lot. But there's some stuff that we've done that I want them to pull those changes, whether it's applications, whether it's the change to Cocoa install WinGit instead of trying to push it the old method, which inevitably fails, especially with newer Windows 11. It's very solid. Oops. Ah. Oops. Wow. Well, let me just get here. Oops. Request changes. Yeah, let's try that, and we'll put that on the next branch. There's just such a big commit. I love the idea of this though, doing like a Tiny 11, Tiny 10, deep loaded ISO all in the toolbox. That almost covers everything you'd want to do with Windows too. So I dig the addition to it. The micro win too. Very generic, great. So I think we'll leave this PR open, or we could probably close it and then have him reopen it on the next one as well. So let's go with a new PR. Oh, this is new. All right, we're gonna go test to main. What if we go from main to test? I want to say there was just a, can we bring this back up? Okay, we're grabbing session. Oh, this is gonna be getting dirty. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, peoples. This looks, took a PR on main and pulling it to test. Dude, so fired. So fired. Just when I'm like, I understand GitHub now. I'm good with Git. No such luck here. Let's make sure. Yeah, that's the PR we took. So I complimented him. I was like, it's an open source project. Everything ticks the box. Nope. There's one box it didn't tick, and the fact he committed it to main instead of test, and I missed it. It's just terrible. All right, now we pulled that to test. Great. Let's go back to PRs. New pull request. We're gonna go from test to main now, and we're gonna create a pull request to main. November WinUtil update. Oh, see what we got. You should see all our commits. Lots of commits this month. 14 commits. Actually, about 7 commits, really. So not that many. And most of them are pretty minor. We'll make sure our unit tests pass here. Git is like your first child. As soon as you understand it, you get a better version. Can you share a link for your TikTok account? Oh my gosh. I think actually I do have a TikTok I created just to grab snippets from Twitch's stream. I wanted to try out their thing and then just push a bunch of crap to TikTok. But I don't, someone already took my name on TikTok, so I forget what it ended up being. It was just a mess around anyways. I don't ever load it up or anything. All right, we'll see what those tests look like. Let's see about the files changed. Slight fixes, fixing my terrible grammar. Yeah, a lot of people fixing my English, my broken English. Adding a bunch of new things, updating Python. Alrighty, all that looks great. Okay. Now, before we go ahead and squash and merge, we will run a final test. Because you always run a final test. We go WinUtil. Does look like it went ahead and grabbed everything properly. We have this 2 minutes ago. What was our last commit? I think it was the OX. Let's make sure the raw oxen session. Yeah, it's there. So that did grab, okay. So let's IRM, IEX. Everything looks good. We got our tweaks. I understand like the circle looks fine on the disable. On the enable, there's a little bit of a half moon situation going on. Still working on that. It's something to fix, but it's a minor graphical error. I'm fine with that for now. Let's say security. Yeah. That all looks good. Tweaks look good. Nothing in here that I'm like, no. Probably should have moved IPv6 over to our customized preferences. Not the worst. I like it. Let's do it. Hold on to your butts. Let's push it to main. What is your YouTube channel where you post these streams to? Because I think you said in a stream it gets uploaded to Titus Gaming, but I can't find. Oh no, yeah, Titus Tech Talks where it is. If you just go youtube.com/@Titus Tech Talk. I usually cut these streams up. If there's like something I do where I go on a side rant here, I'll make like a separate video. These are obviously full streams. If you look at the past videos. Full stream. Debloating Android was like a little 3-minute rant I went on about debloating Android. I talked about hacking in movies. This one was do not update your computer. System tweaking. That was the full stream. And you can kind of see, I usually go in like 5 to 10 minute rants during the stream, and those actually make separate videos. We'll do a couple of those after we merge this main PR. All right. We'll just hit this up, pull requests, and we will squash and merge. Confirm. All right. We'll leave that branch open. We're going to create a new 11 branch after we configure this one. Yeah. That should pass with flying colors. So just a couple additions here. We'll do an IRM of it here in a second. because we should have, there's a second script that fires off and redoes the compile. This is this one. And yeah, we can see the sync version 1123, November 14th, 2023. Perfect. Yeah, I actually have a couple different YouTube channels now. We have the main one. We have the Titus Tech Talks, which is everything from this stream. We have a gaming one, which I was kind of messing around with a little bit. But gaming is kind of a tricky thing to do on YouTube. And I was like, man, there's a lot of things that, like, I've always been a lifelong gamer, but you have to kind of know your niche of what kind of content you'd like to make. And I'm hesitant to make very many gaming videos just because I'm a bit ADD on my gaming. I'm all over the place. I might make a tutorial video on Age of Empires 4 this month, and then next month I'll be on to another game. And that just doesn't work. You kind of have to, pick a lane and just stay in it. Oh, sweet, yeah. Yeah, that's right. I do have that on my main page, don't I? Z80. So there's this. Bam. Oh, that's weird. This For You. That's new. Introduce a For You section in the channel tab. This section area is personalized your watch history. So this is something you'd more likely would enjoy. Huh. Weird. Interesting. Some of this stuff's old, too. Wow. Look at that little calculator. Oh, the punked phone. I remember that. All right, great. Yeah, and then we have this down here. That's cool. Yeah, I guess it's something new that they're rolling out. Hard to say with YouTube. How and when did you come across GitHub? I think it was really when I started to really dive. Obviously, I've knew of GitHub. I've had a GitHub account for a long time, but it wasn't really until I dived more into Linux and really started seeing the open source world for what it was. And I was like, this is pretty awesome that there's all these really cool operating systems and programs and all this FOSS content that I didn't even know existed, or I knew existed, but I don't understand why they were free. And then I started getting into GitHub, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Well, Git in general, if you can use GitLab, Bitbucket, there's a bunch of different services. And it's just so cool. I guess we should do an IRM just to make sure we didn't blow up anything. Make sure everything works, Ryan. All right, we're good. Updates. Cool. Install. Let's do an install here, I guess. Is that session thing on here? Where's communication, maybe? Session. Here we go. Let's install session. Make sure that works. All right. We figured out this worked. We did our PR. And everything's good. I don't see anything up with that. So we did all our PRs. We've finished merging this branch. This old branch is still there and merged. I think I'll probably just delete that one. There's an open PR on it. The micro win. See, I don't want to delete that with that open PR on there. I'll wait for him to respond on that one. Yeah, Power Toys is in the tool. It should be. Let's see. Should be under Microsoft. Microsoft Tools, Power Toys, yeah. It's already there. We've got that one. All right, so all that's good. So we've done all our PRs. We've got the WinUtil up. Quite a bunch of big ones. Micro Win's the one kind of hanging out there that I really want to see going. I'm trying to think of what else we have. Other big improvements I kind of want to make in that tool. There's still a lot of things to do. Every time I open up that toolbox, I'm like, oh, I need to do that. I need to make sure. I think we added like network resetting. We got a whole bunch of other ones too. Is there anything that the tool has that you all would use daily? That just on an install, you're like, man, I wish this was here, and it was just a button to click. All right, y'all. Well, I'll see you guys on Thursday. Thursday, we'll have probably a bit of a programming stream. It's been a while since we've addressed programming, and I really want to get back into working on WinUtil. The thing I want to explore is taking a screenshot of a UI and seeing how well it can recreate that UI with given libraries and see how we can do on the front end. On the back end, we've already written all of the things to use like a JSON file to make tweaks to Windows. I want to see if we can write an entire front end GUI with this. And I think that's going to be Thursday's stream. Is it going to be a hot mess? Absolutely. I don't anticipate anything getting done. More of an exploratory stream. But if AI is really good, we might get some progress. I don't know. So yeah. All right, y'all. Have a good one. See you guys on Thursday. We'll have that fun exploration of writing. We'll do WinUI 3 for the library. We're going to try and do a front end for WinOneShot using the JSON file that's public right now on WinUtil. All the same tweaks. Everything's kind of just pulled into that, and then we're going to try and modify things as needed. It should be fun. All right. Peace all.